Well, stuff happens every week. It's crazier all the time. There's the world out there is like on fire. It's madness everywhere. The world economy is in upheaval because one guy doesn't understand tariffs and he refuses to listen to anyone who disagrees with him. And the rule of law in the country is upside down because the executive seems to think that they're a monarchy now. There's rumor that the Trump regime is going to continue beyond 2028 because they've decided he's just going to ignore the Constitution, the 22nd Amendment, which clearly says you can only serve 2 terms as president. Yeah. So they're just going to ignore the rules. They're going to ignore the laws. They're going to ignore the Constitution. It's just going to be whatever the fuck we say goes. So, well, there's that. What else is there? Hottest year on record. It's already heating up for summer. It's only May 8th now. I think it's May 8th. Ocho de Mayo. Kids are about to get out for summer break. Parents are going to be staring at them going, well, you can't get out of the house. You'll burst into flames. Also, it's basically just the purge out there. What are we to do? Let's talk about it. Welcome back to Trent Takes On. I'm Trent from the title of the show. It's very cleverly named in that way. Like I said I think it was the last show, it's not cleverly named in that I didn't put spaces. Actually, this was on I did a guest spot on a Clippers show. And I mentioned that I didn't put spaces in the name Trent Takes On. It's all crammed together. It's all one word. And because of that, you can't just search for Trent space takes space on. It doesn't come up. It has to all be one word. So I'm positive that many more of you have been sharing all of this hard work with your friends, but they can't find it because they're searching for it with spaces. And there's no spaces. Trent Takes On is a no space word. All of it together. Welcome back. This is end of the school year is upon us. The oldest one that's in the house here is about to go into middle school. So that's a big deal. Congratulations to her. Her problem is that she thinks she's, a junior in high school already. And she's basically asking me for a car. And all the freedoms that go with it. Come on, father. No, she's 11. So no, you got to earn responsibility, or you get responsibility when you prove that you can shoulder it. And judging from the status of their living quarters, neither of my children are prepared for responsibility. So, it's summertime. What am I going to do with my kids? I can't, sit around and show them the news because I don't want to traumatize them. They already are stuck with me as a dad, which is probably a problem in and of itself. But what do you do with your kid? You take them to I can take them to the pool here. We've got pools on property. I can take them to one of those pools, and that's fun. You can't do that every day. It's too much. Also, you have to deal with other people, and that's a crapshoot. Sometimes it's great. Sometimes less great. We're going to try to coordinate, and we have some very nice neighbors, several neighbors, and we all have kids that are the same age. So we're just going to try and, go in mass so that we can guarantee that we have a better time. We're going to do lots of outdoorsy stuff. And I think that that's really important today. My kids are obsessed with their devices. They have Nintendo Switches, the plural of switches, right? And iPads. And those are their lives, man. They love those things. And I get it. And we want them to be literate, screen literate, because that's the direction of the world, sadly. But I demand that they have some analog in their digital world. And that means getting outside and like playing soccer and making up games. And I bought them a Foursquare ball this week, and they're just going to start playing Foursquare outside. They would have this weekend, but it was rainy. Yeah, you got to keep them active and at the same time get them rested for the next school year. And somehow, somewhere along the way, you got to teach them some responsibility, like clean up your living situation. Your room in our apartment is off limits to normal humans. It's just you two and rodents that go in there, I'm pretty sure. So we're going to spend about the first week doing spring cleaning, getting rid of... I recommend this for everybody. Your kids are out of school. Take that first week and just like lean into them to get their room straight, get rid of anything that they don't need. Kind of start the summer with a clean slate. It'll make them feel better. It'll make you feel immensely better. But I think that's a good plan for parents in 2025. Also, it keeps you from thinking about how crazy shit is out there in the world. This summer's going to be total madness when it comes to the economy and what is on store shelves. It's underreported. They're not talking about this very much, but the ports are empty on the West Coast because China's not sending anything at 145% tariff. What they are sending is being put into bonded warehouses. In other words, little tiny, Switzerlands where the goods can just hang out until the tax to bring them into the country changes, and then you can take them out of the warehouse and pay the tax, whatever the tax is currently. Not the tax when it goes in, but the tax when you bring it out. These are called bonded warehouses. And sometimes it makes more sense to just throw stuff in a bonded warehouse than to pay the oversized tax today because, hopefully we can figure out a way to get that tax lowered later. I don't know, man. I think that the shelves are going to be in bad shape. I think that toys are going to be at a premium. I think that a lot of things that you wouldn't think will be affected by these tariffs will be affected by these tariffs. And your kids are going to be like, why can't we have this? Or why can't we do that? And you're going to look at them and go, because, man, absolute madness is going on out there. They're going to want to go to Target or Walmart or the mall and see all the cool stuff that's not there. Because we can't bring anything from China right now. And we've developed a system. It's a worldwide economy where China in particular has the means and the labor force to produce a great volume of not necessarily high-end goods. It's the most pleasant way I can say that, right? Oh, okay. Sorry, I had to pause it for a second there. You probably won't hear anything. China produces a lot of our low-cost goods, and when they're not going to sell them to us because it's no longer a low-cost good, shelves are going to be empty. And it's not just the finished items that are coming from China. It's also parts to other items. Parts for automobiles or large toys and things like that that are actually assembled here in the States. A lot of textiles, a lot of fabrics, things like that. Yeah, those are not coming either. So that not only are the ports empty, but what are you going to do if you're a longshoreman? What are you going to do if you're one of these dock workers who's paid to offload these container ships? Well, there's no container ships, there's no work. What if you're a trucker that's paid to take those containers from the ships to different areas in the United States. But there's no containers. There's no containers to truck. So truckers are gonna struggle. These are the trickle down effects of economic choices that are, well, not thought through, for starters. Also, I can't stress this enough. This fantasy that we're gonna manufacture everything here that we're tariffing. It's like you're out of your fucking mind. It takes years to get that type of manufacturing up and running. And here's the fun part, as pointed out by economist Justin Wolfers at the University of Michigan, who is also an Aussie. He sounds awesome. He's the author of Think Like an Economist, and he's great. He points out that even if you want to build your factories here in the States to produce, things like dolls, for example, like Barbie dolls, if they wanted to do that, do you know where you buy the machinery, or you have it built, the machinery to further produce the doll? You have the machinery built in China. There's not even a place in the United States to build the machines that would make the factories work. Isn't that something? So, all hail the great and mighty Mad King. So what is this pod about? I guess that's the question. We're 12 minutes in, Trent. What are you getting at? Summertime. Yeah. What are we supposed to do? We can get out and protest a little bit here and there. Remember, kids, if you are going to protest, do so safely. Do not break the law in any huge way. No violence. And remember to wear sunscreen. Those are all helpful tips. Sunscreen no matter what. The UV rays will wound you deeply. It's important that we stay abreast of what's, It's important that we stay on top. For some reason, my friend who listens to the show told me you can never use the word abreast again. I used it once. Now I've used it twice in this show. I used it once in a prior episode, and he was like, you can't do that, dude. But it's a very good English word. Anyway, you got to stay on top of what's happening. You got to stay in the know. But you also don't want it to consume you and drive you mad. And that's not easy either. I consume probably too much. Hopefully so you don't have to. I give you kind of a nutshell-y feel of what's going on in the news. It's not great. But signs of life from a resistance are forming. All I can say with absolute certainty is the regime has no plan to get out of what it's doing. There is no backtrack. There is no retreat. There is no surrender. They will continue to manipulate the judiciary. They will continue to manipulate laws. They will continue to ignore certain laws. They will continue to do whatever the F they want while simultaneously daring the rest of the world to stop them. That's the plan. So, and there is no plan B. So, some of this is going to suck. Sorry. Some of it is going to really suck. And some of it is just going to be obnoxious. And I bring this following thing up because it's important. Okay? There are difficult conversations to be had. There are difficult conversations to be had about all kinds of things. Our relationship with other people, our philosophies on the future, the world that we want for our kids, so on and so forth. And these are difficult, painful discussions that a lot of people just don't want to have. But I would posit that failure to have them, in many cases, has led us to where we are. I act on behalf of the future for my children. I understand that this world that was never given to me by my by the boomer generation, they refused to let go of the fucking wheel. This world that was never given to me is not even mine. It's theirs. It's my millennial oldest. She was born right at the tail end of millennial, right at the beginning of Gen Z, somewhere in there. And then my two little Gen whatevers they are. This is their world. And I try to remember that the things that I'm fighting for are for them. They're not for me. I question all the time my purpose in the world as I know it. And the best thing I can come up with is that my kids that I brought into this world need me. And I need to do a better job of always being there for them. Before these little two, I was bad at it. But now I'm doing the best I can to be really good at it. It's meant a mind shift, a shift of ideology from me in the present, to them in the future. Because that's what's really important. Me in the present is uncomfortable, unfortunate sometimes. I suffer from a couple of health maladies that I won't bore anyone with. They're not dangerous, but they make my life fucking annoying. Put it that way. There are a lot of things that I wish I could do that I can't. It's just a long healing process for me. But it's not about me. It's about them. So when I look at everything that's going on in this world, I'm so upset. Because if this goes on for 10, 15 years, like it did in Hungary, for example, this could get really, really ugly really, really fast. There's no plan B for the right. They are all in on fascism. They are all in on Donald John Trump, the Mad King. This is all they got. There's no backup plan. His numbers are absolutely terrible. A lot of people who voted for him held their nose and voted for him because they were unhappy with the lack of success Biden had. And they were like, we want something different. All those people changed their minds already, man. They know better. The squishy Trump voters are all feeling buyer's remorse. Already, 100 and whatever it is, 9 days in. With good reason. This presidency is all about the rich. Okay, I don't think I've ever just boiled it down like this, but this presidency is all about the rich and distractions. That's it. That's the whole list. So many of these policies benefit the rich. So many of these policies are turning a blind eye toward misdeeds. That's a good word. Put that right next to a breast. 3 times in one show. It's all about ignoring crimes and deregulation and ignoring the obvious misuse of cryptocurrency, which for the record, still a fucking illegal scheme. The rich are continuing to get rich. In fact, they're getting richer at a faster pace than normal. How the fuck is that happening? Meanwhile, all of our costs that he promised he would bring down on day one are not only not going down, now he's telling you they're going to go up and you're going to have to like it. You're going to have to tough it out. You're going to have to make sacrifices. For how long? Well, I don't know. Well, that wasn't what he fucking ran on, now was it? No. See, he sits there and he says, maybe this Christmas kids won't get $30. Maybe they'll only get $2. or 3 or 4. Well, that's a real fucking myopic, rich way of looking at it, isn't it? Because it's not really about the difference between $30 and $2. It's the difference between $2 and no dolls. It's the difference between kids actually getting Christmas presents and kids getting a whole lot of sacrifice for Christmas. See, the average American is living paycheck to paycheck. The rich people don't understand that, and they don't fucking care. And that's why there's been no understanding, no realization that what this country really needs is better opportunity. And I don't mean better opportunity for rich people. I mean better opportunity for the people at the bottom. Better schools. What are they going to do? We need better schools. What are you going to do? We're going to close the Department of Education. We need more affordable college. What are you going to do? We are going to send into default and collection all of the student loans that are outside that have been in forbearance for so long. We're just going to do away with all that. In fact, we don't know what we're going to do with federal grants and scholarships and loan money going forward. So secondary education will become even more expensive because you're going to have to pay for it out of pocket. We need better roads. We need internet. We need Wi-Fi in the countryside, all across the country, rural Wi-Fi. That was a big thing. And you know what? We passed a law. $1 trillion went to that. $1 trillion infrastructure law. Joe Biden did that. What's the Trump regime doing? Canceling contracts that are going to deliver on some of those things. Infrastructure improvements. All to benefit the rich. All to make sure that they get as many tax cuts as they can. While we, normal, average, everyday people, the 99.9999999% of us that are regular Joes in some way, shape, or form, we're going to be left holding the bag. Not just today, but forever. Money has corrupted politics to the point where it's pure toxin. If you disagree with Trump, they pay to primary you. Gross. Money shouldn't win elections. And in Wisconsin, they just proved that it doesn't necessarily win elections, but there's a lot of money that had to be injected into that thing to make sure that money didn't win the. See what I mean? Republicans spent over $100 million on that race, and Democrats spent almost 80. So, yeah, that's not good. That's not good. It's a crazy-ass arms race. Rich people need rich politicians and people who are, going to make sure that their taxes stay low or disappear altogether. And you know who's floated that, Mad King? I'm going to replace income tax with tariffs. No, you're not. Because it's 2025 and that shit doesn't work anymore. He keeps thinking that we can send our country back to 1890. Nope. Listen to Doc Brown. We can't do it, Marty. You can't go back in time, brother. Those are just movies. He wants to reopen Alcatraz. What? I've been to Alcatraz. Did a night tour of Alcatraz. Creepy. It's not a big place. It's a little tiny place. You have to ship everything into and out of Alcatraz, even sewage. Just so you know. It's a national park, and it makes a lot of money for the government. It does really well. And now we're going to spend how many hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars, retrofitting it, trying to get it up to speed. We already have 18 Supermax prisons in the country. It's either 16 or 18. One or the other. A whole lot. And we've never had an escape from any of them. Why are we talking about reopening out? Why? Because he sees some movie and the Mad King sees something and he hears some nonsense and he's like, I want in on that shit. The latest shithousery is sending deportees to Libya. Are you fucking serious? It's the only place with worse prisons than El Salvador, apparently. And Libya has been racked with civil war for the last 10 years since the Muammar Gaddafi was overthrown and murdered. He was a terrible person. But why? All to evade the rule of law, all to evade due process, all to dehumanize people who aren't Americans. So what's next? They get to define who Americans are, and people like me who don't agree with them become un-American. We've seen this before. Happened in the 50s. McCarthyism. Bad. Do your homework. I did mine. I just keep thinking, as we barrel towards summer, the temperatures are going to get hot, just like the politics. And Republicans are going to dodge everything they can. Republican electeds are going to dodge everything they can. The Mad King is going to continue to say fucking lunacy shit. And who knows what comes next. But it's time to have those little conversations with your folks, to your crazy uncle, your brother, whoever. And remind them that our decisions are not for us anymore. They're for what we leave behind. I'm 50. My best days are behind me. I mean, probably. I'm going to act as though they are because for the most part, that's the truth. So I'm going to continue to use my voice in whatever way I can to wake people up to what's going on and to point out the criminality, the malevolence. How about that for a good word? Yeah, man, I'm throwing out good words all left, right, and center today. The malevolence of these people and their actions. They act as though they're never going to face voters again. Think about that. That's the only reason you continue down these incredibly unpopular paths, because you just don't care anymore. Donald Trump has made at least $2.3 billion on transaction fees for his cryptocurrency alone. Just the transaction fees. Not to mention the fact that he already owns 60% of its inventory, and the value of that inventory goes up when more and more people want to buy into it. And more and more people want to buy into it to curry favor with the Mad King, and the Mad King gets more money, and the Mad King continues to make crazy ass decisions, and you pay him to ignore you. You pay him to look the other way. Look the other way. Look at them. Look over there. Meanwhile, while they're all getting richer and richer and richer, they use culture war shit to keep the masses engaged, to keep them busy while they steal all the money. It's the old George Carlin. Call it the American dream because you have to be asleep to believe in it. Their job is to keep us fighting amongst each other while they keep running to the bank. That's George Carlin from 30 years ago. He wasn't wrong then, not wrong now. He's dead, but the words live on. We are fighting amongst each other over shit like trans kids in sports. Ain't no trans kid ever ruined your fucking life. Didn't even ruin your day. Get the fuck over it. Those trans kids got enough to fucking deal with without you demonizing them. We are not an equal and understanding society. We are bigoted. We are racist. We are misogynist. We are shitty as a society. Why is that? Because they've trained us to be that way. They keep you worried about fucking immigration, but not one immigrant has ever ruined your life. And there are instances where immigrants have committed crimes, but the crime rate amongst immigrants versus the crime rate amongst native-born people, it's just not even comparable. Native-born people into this country commit more crimes than immigrants by 5 times. 5-fold. 5 times more. Per capita. It's not the immigrants. It's not. What's next? Citizenship tests for those of us who were born here? Yeah. Yeah, it's in the works. You've heard me talk about, probably, if you've been listening to this show for a while, you've heard me talk about Secretary of wait a minute, what's his official role? Superintendent of Schools, Ryan Walters, for the state of Oklahoma. They are now officially they put into the next year's criteria that the 2020 election was stolen from Donald Trump. Also, they're going to use the Bible as a reference book. Not for the election thing, but just in general. Seriously. Schools that we pay for, taxpayers pay for, and Oklahoma is a taker state. They get a whole lot more money in federal funds than they send out. Now, because the Department of Education is going away, good luck. I don't know how that's going to work for states like Oklahoma. They're just going to be closing schools and they're going to have 100 fucking kids in a classroom because they won't be able to pay their teachers more than fucking crumbs. And the teachers are going to leave, and that's how it works. Brain drain continues. The culture wars are designed to keep us occupied. And between culture wars and your kids wanting to go to the pool, you probably don't have a lot of other time to actually make good headway. But there are crusaders out there that are doing the right thing. Okay? So if you can make it out to a couple of protests this year, I recommend the June 14th protest, the No Kings protest that's coming in June. That one's going to be an awesome one. I'm definitely going to that. My kids are definitely going to that. My wife, not sure yet. She's going to go. We're going to take some friends. We're going to have a good time. And we are going to speak with our loudest voices that there are no kings here. And that a military parade that is going to be happening at the same time for the dear leader's birthday is just a sham and a waste of money. And that's all it is. Get out and do a protest this summer. It's good for you. Remember to wear sunscreen. Feel free to make a donation somewhere. The ACLU, for example. There are a lot of legal outfits that are doing good work, trying desperately to make sure that people in this country aren't treated extra legally. In other words, make sure that people get all of the rights that they're due. That's what the American Civil Liberties Union does. Get your red bucket. And remember to wear sunscreen. This is going to be hot all summer long. I like to do my cleanups really early before the heat of the day hits. So if you see me out there really early, that's what I'm up to. I'm going to go get ready for summer. We're going to do art projects. We're going to do outdoor fun. We're going to do trips to the pool with our friends. Never alone, because you need as much cover as you can get. What if you have to go to the bathroom or something? Yeah, take as many people as you can. or at least as many people as you need to cover the bathroom shift or whatever that comes up. We're gonna have a good time all summer long, and I'm gonna keep doing Trend Takes On. I'm gonna sneak out here and I'm gonna do my pod and not edit it and release it because that's how I roll these days. And hopefully, things will get better. And I urge us all to just do a little something, even if it's just be nicer. Even if it's just talk to your kid and remind them that the world doesn't revolve around them, that we have to share it with everybody. I have to remind my dog of this all the time. She thinks the world revolves around her. She is wrong. So get ready for a wild summer. And hopefully you can keep your kids entertained. Make friends with some other parents who have kids around the same age and get out and do stuff together. Even if it's just, going to, we have an outdoor mall here with a giant fountain thing in the middle that the kids play in all summer long. It's a lot of fun. It's like a splash pad. That's what it's called. We'll take our kids over there and just let them frolic. And then we'll go sit on the patio at Yard House and have some drinks. Because that's parenting in 2025, I think. I'm not sure. That's it for me today. I really, really appreciate everybody who listens to the show. I cannot say enough how much I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Please share this with a friend, someone that needs a little positivity, while not ignoring the fact that shit is on fire right now. That's what this pod is. A little bit of positivity while pointing out a big flaming pile of shit. How about that? This should be my new tagline, t-shirt. Write it up. Let's do that as a t-shirt. Until next time, please be good humans. It's the very least we can do. And I will talk to you in a week's time. Love you. Bye-bye.